Welcome back, everyone, to the Risk Intel podcast, powered by SRA Watchtower, where we share risk intelligence with experts from across the banking industry. I'm your host, Ed Vincent, CEO at SRA Watchtower. Hello, welcome to today's episode of the Risk Intel podcast. I'm incredibly excited to have back on the program today the co-founder of Lumio Insight, Jeff Fink. Jeff, thanks for being with us today.
Well, thank you. It's great to be back.
Jeff, we've got some special news today. We're going to deviate, I'll say, from our typical educational content series to share the exciting announcement that today SRA Watchtower has acquired Lumio Insight, and we're coming together as a single business to deliver the holistic risk and business intelligence platform. So thank you for joining for this conversation.
Great. Excited to be here and excited to release this news and the combination of these companies. Very excited.
Jeff, we've talked in some of our prior conversations about data as the currency of the future.
Yeah.
And you had a vision around data and a vision for Lumio. And so I'd love to start there in this conversation. And then we'll talk a little bit about what it means to bring these businesses together and how you're going to drive this product vision into the marketplace. But let's go back to the beginning, if you will, from Lumio, and give us a bit of that vision, that need that you saw in the market, and why you founded Lumio in the first place.
Yeah, no, happy to. And, I think to me, Ed, it starts with, we really recognized and support the mission of community-based financial institutions and the pressures that they're under, in the market and just the value that they bring to their communities, and felt like, okay, that's something we want to be part of. That was really the first thing. And then thinking about, the specific, how do we help? Obviously we're in the data analytics and business intelligence space, and what we saw the problems really around disjointed data, a lot of systems in a banking environment, and a lot of data being generated, and just the ability of financial institutions that have limited staff, to really build out a platform for leveraging that data, bringing it together, being able to analyze and report, is very challenging. And I think, that's across the board. Even as you go up the ladder in size of institution, I believe they have those challenges. And what that means to me is that those institutions are not maximizing the return on their data assets, and data being one of the most strategic assets that they have. Just the ability to leverage that data in a way that helps them better serve their customers. That's what we do, and love working with financial institutions to do that. But that really was the genesis of Lumio.
I'm going to try and connect the dots and align
Yeah.
that, if you will, with the beginnings of SRA Watchtower, because I think that this is one of the things that gets me really excited about these businesses and products and people coming together, is the fact that we too had a vision that community banks are really the lifeblood of this country, and
Yeah.
community banks, and I should say credit unions as well, right? Local financial institutions that are supporting the mom and pop businesses, the Main Street businesses, that rely on having someone who they know as their financial advisor, their representative, their banker, their financial partner. And our belief is that those institutions have just as much of a right and just as much of a need to have visibility into risk management, their risk platform, so that they can make risk-informed decisions. And in order to make risk-informed decisions, you have to be able to get your head around data, and you have to use that data not only to ensure the safety and soundness of the financial institution, but also to drive innovation. And so those community institutions, as you talked about, Jeff, deserve the ability to innovate and compete with regional players and the like. And so that kind of founding principle or founding premise that you had when you formed Lumio Insight was a very similar construct to why SRA Watchtower came into being, and it's why it feels like these the cultures and the visions of these organizations are very well aligned.
Yeah, agreed. Combining forces here makes a lot of sense to me, and just the I guess the capabilities that we can bring together to really bring more actionable information to institutions. You know, again, to help them better serve their customers. I'm just super excited about that.
So Jeff, we started conversations about partnering together
Yeah.
about almost a year or so ago now.
Yeah.
And
Right.
we had some folks that we also kind of brought to the table with us as development partners, and we said, how can we improve the way in which Watchtower brings data into our ecosystem, and how can we also improve the way with which it is delivered out in a manner that can be consumed so that you can make better risk-informed decisions as an institution. And that's really how this began.
Yeah.
One of the things that we encountered along that journey was we had a conversation with a financial institution. I think they were about a $4 billion institution, and you showed them a picture of the insight apps that
Yeah.
Lumio has constructed. And they made an observation about one piece that would be complementary, that would round out that picture. I wonder if you could share a little bit about the Lumio Insight app suite, and then what that missing piece was in order to have a holistic risk and business intelligence solution there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I really think about the foundation to Lumio and how we provide insight to institutions. We call it the Lumio Data Hub, but think of it as, you know, a central repository for data throughout the organization. So, you know, across obviously the core system, general ledger, and various systems across the bank, bringing that data together so that it's in a repository that's complete, accurate, and organized is really step one, and that's the foundation. And then what we put on top are a set of, we call them insight apps, but basically analytic applications, reporting and analysis capabilities. We have, as you mentioned, Ed, four base applications: deposit insight, loan insight, customer insight, and financial insight. And as you said, it's, you know, now that we look at that, we see, wow, boy, there's a piece missing there, and that's risk insight. And so that's, you know, what I know we're very excited to work on together on bringing a fifth application that really ties it together, ties all the data together and the systems together, to bring more capabilities from a risk perspective, you know, to institutions.
You know, Jeff, as you described that, um, it reminds me of a conversation you know, that we had recently, where if you think about what a holistic picture of risk needs in order to truly have that complete
Yeah.
view, you need not just data from, I'll say, point risk solutions like a BSA, an AML, ALCO, core GL, GRC, vendor management. But you also need a view into loans and deposits and customers and financials. And so really, in order to get that holistic picture, you need all of those pieces, and all those things have to come together in the data hub that you talked about. You know,
Yeah.
and it needs to be complete, accurate, and organized, precisely as you laid it out. And so that is, I think that is really the value proposition that we think that we have here, is being able to bring all this data together in a central place, organize it, and then be able to create really interesting analytics and provide a complete picture of risk across an organization.
Yeah, I love that concept, and you know, I know a lot of excitement, but also a lot of work to do. You know, from a product perspective, and how how this is packaged and how we can deliver, this intelligence and these insights, to the market. And I know I'm very excited, to get to work on that, and that work has already started, and excited for this journey.
Jeff, we were together at the Acquire or Be Acquired conference.
Yeah.
I guess it was a week or two ago now, and there was a lot of conversation about data at that event, and the importance of the data hub and getting it together. But there was even more discussion about the importance of recognizing the value of that data, and not just about pulling data together for data's sake. And so I'd love it if you would just, react to that concept of data coming together in one place is step one. That's not the value. That is not getting a return on your investment there, or your asset. It is about what do you do with it. So perhaps by means of a use case or two, or an example or two of how someone gets value of that data. We looked at an M&A example. We talked about a concentration of depositors with a certain demographic. Maybe an example or two, so people can really take it from the conceptual or the theoretical into the practical.
Yeah, no, great point. The value is in specific use cases of how can we leverage data to provide that value across the organization. And I do like the customer concept. Again, we could go into, I think, any one of those areas, whether it's in the product portfolios or on the financial side, or obviously risk insight as well. But on the customer side, thinking about, understanding who our customers are, and the products that they have with our organization, and how we can, think about what's next. A next best product, I know, is a common use case that I think has a lot of value. You mentioned demographics and segmentation, whether that's, for the consumer side of the business or commercial. I think it's important to understand, who we have as customers, and what they bring to the bank, and how we think we can help them, maximize the relationship with the bank. I think maybe that's just an overarching, how we bring value. But specifics, segmentation, I think is one that comes to my mind. And then also, thinking about how they transact business with the bank. That's an area that we're delving into now. Looking at their transaction data to determine more information about those customers. I think is a great, what are they doing? Money that might be coming out of their deposit accounts that go to other institutions. So it helps you understand, where you are maybe with share of wallet. Are you their primary institution? Again, it helps you understand who your customers are. I believe transaction data has a lot of indicators there that are important. We're doing, definitely doing work there, and look to enhance that in the future. And then I'll give another, use case that I think is, important to every institution, of course, and that's profitability. Not just at the whole bank level, but at various levels, and down to account level and customer relationship level. We have plans already working on components that can be added to our deposit insight, loan insight, and customer insight apps that help institutions, again, understand profitability. We believe in the right granularity, and what I mean by that is that there are a lot of different profitability systems on the market today, and they're deep and wide, and they're mostly expensive to implement, and somewhat complex, and sometimes difficult to maintain. We're not looking to overlap or be another one of those players in the market. We're really looking at how can we provide we call it profitability light, as far as analysis and reporting goes. Let's get the 80 or 90% of the value out of systems like that without that extra 20%, additional cost. That just, that's where the complexity is, and the time and the effort to get to that 100% level. We believe that really seeing the big picture there and the ability to drill down to customer relationship level profitability and do that quickly and see it in context of all these other data points in our applications, is very powerful. And I think another good use case that, again, just goes along with all of the other capabilities, and thinking about how risk insight becomes a piece of that puzzle as well. I think, to me, that's the value, and that's what we're looking to do is really deliver that complete set of analytics and intelligence to institutions.
That's I think you've given us some great,
Yeah.
say, drill down into the value that can be received by a financial institution, right? The high level vision here, if you are using the Watchtower platform, we're now going to have the ability to ingest data more easily, in a more timely manner, right, from a wider variety of sources. That's going to then locate in a single data hub that could then be made available, that is used then to create analytics. And then when the results are made available, they can be made available as a data feed, through an API, through the Watchtower enterprise risk management or risk and control self-assessment web-based solutions. Or if someone wants to drill down and perform these sophisticated analytics, those examples you just talked through, they can drop down into the Insight app suite, and they can do the sophisticated data analysis, right? The stuff that you envision as BI. So I think it's really exciting to see this vision starting to become a reality. Obviously, there's work to do to deliver on that, but I think that the concept of the holistic risk and business intelligence platform is certainly well within reach. Jeff, this is certainly a major milestone for both of our businesses. It's incredibly exciting to bring people and products together. Any final thoughts? Anything that right our clients should be aware of here as we close out the conversation and get out into the market together?
Well, I think just Lumio, on the Lumio side, definitely, now as a combined company, we're so excited to join forces here, and just what you said, thinking about how can we better serve our customers, and in turn that helps those institutions better serve their customers. I'm excited to continue on this journey and do it together, and can't wait to get started.
I echo that sentiment. Jeff, you are a visionary product leader. I'm excited that you're joining the SRA Watchtower team to lead product and technology holistically. So I know that our colleagues are really excited, really looking forward to that level of leadership and that vision. And we will come back together and spend more time talking about leveraging data and the intersection between risk and business intelligence in future conversations. But for now, I thank you for being part of this conversation. I share your energy, your enthusiasm to get out of the gate and really realize this vision of helping institutions get value from their data. Data is the currency of the future, and this combined products set will deliver the holistic risk and business intelligence platform out to the marketplace in a way that is going to bring real value to those community institutions, right? To bring it back to that original vision, these institutions deserve to have these technology and capabilities at their fingertips, and we're excited to bring it to market together.
Couldn't agree more, and thank you for having me again.
Thanks again.